Hey everyone, we'd like to welcome you to a very special episode of We Said All That to Say. We are all coming to you live from our very own studio. I'm Thomas. I got Angel B with us. I got Pastor B. I even got my main girl, Natasha Fortune, with us. And we also got Heath Wiggins with us running everything in the background. Today, we wanted to come to you because the streets are on fire. Yesterday, with the Oscars being so black, and at this very black Oscars, unfortunately, something happened that has never happened before. We had a comedian on stage by the name of Chris Rock who was there to present an award. And he took that time during his presentation to throw a couple jokes in there. One of the jokes did not land well. And you guys know the rest. I want to know how you feel. I know Heath has been biting at the bit. He's been talking to me all day, sending texts back and forth. Heath, how do you feel about this incident? What's your take on it?
So this is hot, and here's my topic. Here's my thought on it. If when people are so used to these Instagram streets, right? You say something online and there's no repercussions.
Okay.
You are out here and you make a comment about a man's wife, and he's sitting next to her, and she doesn't take it lightly. She takes offense to it, especially if it's about her parents. If she was mocked in that, then as a man, as a husband, I think it's your duty to address it. Now, Will Smith chose to address it by stepping to him directly, man to man, and coming for his jaw with the open hand. That's some real man activities to me. Was it appropriate? Probably not. But it's man-to-man stuff that happens. It happens in the streets. They weren't in the streets, but he still did it. So I respect him. I wish that I had enough gumption to go ahead and do that. I probably would have sat there and been like, that's disrespectful. You shouldn't have done that, and been sulking in my feelings. But he stepped to him right there in the spot. I appreciate that he didn't sucker punch him. He didn't do something that was kind of slick. He just straight stole him, open hand in his face, and then walked away. Now, Chris Rock jumped off and started fighting, but I have to respect the tenacity of him to do that, the testicular fortitude to do that. I think that it could have been handled differently, but if it wasn't, it's not up for me to say.
I gotta go, Natasha. I done seen you. You were shaking your hand. I saw you pass a collection plate around while he was talking. Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I had a whole reenactment this morning because my husband woke up with the like he was on one. Like, I wish a person would. He reenacted the entire scene for me. So I wish I could have taped him, but he probably would have stopped. But it was hilarious to see him reenact this, and he just kept going on and on and on. And he was like, when you slap someone in the face in the Bible, that means that's the start of a war. So, he just went so deep with it. And he was like, how disrespectful. He told me the whole backstory of it. So he was like my, media takeout or whatever. He was my info, my tea for today.
Did you not see it, Natasha, live or a recording of it? Did you just get his?
I saw a recording of it, and I DM'd him. So, and then when I came out from the bathroom, he was like, going on and on about it. So that's why it was just so funny to see him reenact the whole thing. But it was one of those, it's not the bricks, it's the feather, because he, from what I understand, Chris Rock has been taunting this family over and over and over again for some time. So this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I didn't know that Will Smith had decided not to come to the Oscars for some years, for things, for whatever reasons. And it's when you come, this happens. So I felt like it was I'm mad as what, and I just can't take it anymore. And these are the repercussions. You can only poke a bear, but so many times. And he woke a sleeping bear, basically.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, so I want to go back to the provoking the family thing that you said. Now, I watched the clip from 6 years ago when we were on the Oscars So White kick, and it was Jada Pinkett had took it upon herself to request that Black stars and other blacks in the media not attend the Oscars.
I remember that. I remember that.
And
Yeah.
I know she had contacted Chris Rock from what was said in order to get him to not host. I think Chris Rock and those jokes that he said were, he's a comedian, and he said, "Hey, you know, me not her not coming to the Oscars is the same as me me and something with Rihanna's underwear.
Underwear.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
I wasn't invited. So, and I get it. You know, I get the joke, whether or not anybody else found it funny or what have you. I mean, he's a comedian,
But I
and
think
you
Will
either
Smith
gonna
really
like it
wanted
or
to
you're not.
slap some people, like a bunch of people. And he was just right there at the right time and just got it. Like, that's what I feel like. Like, it could have been anyone up there. I know they might have some back stuff that we don't know anything about. But I
Yeah,
just
true.
I'm just, this is where I'm gonna take my aggression out.
I want to hear what Angel's perspective is on this.
Yeah, because
I
Angel's
don't-
been giving some faces.
No, I don't watch the Oscars. I won't watch the Oscars unless one of you guys are in there and I have to support.
Yeah.
But my whole thing, I felt like he said, could have been handled different. Yes. However, what I did, of course, I had to go do research. I was like, why is he responding to this? Like, I didn't understand the offense just from watching the clip. So understanding that Jada has alopecia and she's had these issues with her, her image and things of that sort, I was like, I could understand. So even just watching, I critique things. I'm very literal. I'm like, what led up to him getting up and wanting to slap him on live television? This is you, dude. Now, granted, Will Smith is in the media as someone who comes off as soft and crying and everything. I was like, oh, this is a comeback for him. That's what I initially thought when I originally watched it. But when I saw Jada's reaction to Chris's remark, I was like, oh, she was offended by this. So for him to defend his Black wife on national television, and you got everybody talking about how Black women need to be defended, how Black women need to be defended. All we do is sit back and watch. I thought it was very powerful in that sense to do that. But would I have handled it different? Would I have handled it differently? Absolutely. Am I excited for Will and his comeback for the slap? Absolutely. Do I think Chris deserved it? Absolutely. Like, he was very inappropriate in his comment. Knowing the backstory, it's all over the media. So I know it's not I didn't know she dealt with alopecia or something like that. It was all over the news. So, I felt like Chris deserved it. I'm glad that Denzel and Tyler Perry, which is not talked about often, they talked to him and calmed him down. That's Black men supporting Black men.
Yeah.
So I loved that about it. So I had to go do my research. But the media is only going to give us the clips of what we see. So be like me and go do your research.
But Denzel did say he said to Will before all this happened, like, the higher you get, the more devils, will come, which we know, higher levels, higher devils. So it's just one of those things that he finally won. And let's not forget to mention all of the great things that happened that night. And I have to go back so I can watch it, but I heard that there were so many great performances from our people. So I don't want the night to get overshadowed from that. But this was just one of those things that stood out.
The night's overshadowed. The night is
the night's messed up.
Yeah.
The night's
Oscars,
out of
and
the
I don't
window.
care what happened on the Oscars, but I know that this happened.
Yeah, because everything has been surrounded by a slap. I'm gonna jump in real quick. Look, I get what he did it for. I truly am disgusted by his methods in which he decided to do it. The fact of the matter is that you are a grown man in control of all of your facets. You should not be made to do or react to anyone in a way that would not be on brand for you. You jumped in here and you took some words and you decided to react to them in a violent way. Now, whether or not you decided to do it because the target in which you were going to exact them out was a tiny little skinny little Black comedian.
Chris
Now, whether or not
Chris ain't a little small, skinny Black comedian. I mean, he ain't no small man. He's like, what, 6 something? I mean,
no. Do your research. He is 5'10". Now I understand he might look like he's 6 feet,
Well, I
but
mean,
no,
I'm 5'6",
he's
so
5
8 feet is something to me.
Everybody, yeah, I know. I feel for you, man. But look, he was either way. I understand that you can keep your wife's honor, but the reason why it disgusted me is because I've been in this situation where I've decided that I was going to defend a wife or a girlfriend or whatever, and I got in trouble. And I instead of being applauded by the rest of the world who didn't see it, the people that were there, I got shamed and I got talked about. And it was like, oh, he had to do that, da da da. She would have been okay, but I was fighting for my woman's honor at that time. So I can see where if you take words and then want to combat them with violence, okay, maybe that's a little too much. Could he have used his voice the way he used it once he went back and sat down? Because I didn't know that a black man could get that loud in that theater like that. I mean, they heard that through everybody's mic. Keep my wife's name out your blank mouth. Everybody heard it. People heard it on the street everywhere because he commanded it at that moment.
So,
and I think he could have said something at that same moment instead of walk up there and slap another black man in the face because he said a joke.
Yeah.
He said a joke, a bad joke.
It wasn't that he said a joke, and
it was a bad joke.
It wasn't that it's a bad joke. You mocked and you offended my wife about her appearance.
Okay, time out.
And you did it for jokes. So is that? But hold on, Tom. I want to ask David, because David have a chance. What your thoughts are about it, David?
You know, the first thing that I thought was black on black crime. National television, nothing's done about it. Here's the deal. It was a joke, and regardless of what your take is on a joke that was said, my whole concern was Will Smith did I'm going to speak from two perspectives. One is past to be the other as an Omega as a Q dog, right? It was a very cat move that Will Smith performed. To walk up there in a very selected environment, knowing that it was safe, to pick on a smaller man and to do that was totally cat. It was inappropriate. And here's the other thing. I just felt like, Will, are you trying to channel your lack of an inner Tupac or your lack of somebody who's really strong to brave a moment and to display yourself as something that you're not? Because you're not about that life, Will Smith. You're absolutely not. You're a soft, nice guy. And so you took advantage in that moment to express and to try to unwrap some issues that you're having in your house. And I felt part of that was also Jada's, what did she call it? Her little excursion that she had, the issues going on with her entanglement. All of that was being unwrapped in that moment where Will saw a national stage and had a meltdown. There was nothing honorable about what he did. He disgraced the moment. And here's the thing, right after that, he's called and he won what was it, Man of the Year, whatever that award was he got. Now, here's the thing, that could have been a moment for him to then stand, best actor. He could have used that moment to then defend the honor of his wife and all women who are suffering from alopecia or any type of body shaming. That would have been really great, but he didn't do that. He disgraced the moment. He disgraced the award, and I just thought it was shameful. And for those people who say, well, he stood up for his wife, there's a better way to do it. Think about Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, the nasty things that was said about her body shaming that was done by the Republican Party. So many things you go back on. You can't always respond like that. And let me just ask this final word. How many of us have had something said offensive to us in a corporate setting, something offensive said about our spouse, where we absolutely could not do what Will Smith did without being arrested or without there being some charges or repercussions? So I really think on Will Smith's part, all he did was prove to me, again, that you're a soft guy, that you don't know how to handle the moment, and it's nothing macho about you. I'm taking that away. He's not Q dog tough. You're still soft, making candy rap songs and responding like a little immature dude.
We didn't even need to be on this.
We all have different perspectives. That is amazing.
Shots fired. Oh man, so this is where we go
from the pastor.
Wow.
You know?
But I feel him. You know, the Bible says, "Don't let your good be evil spoken of." If you're going to defend your wife, there's plenty of ways that he could have defended his wife and not made this into and not taken away from the situation. Now, when you got up on that stage and you said, hey, you know what? My wife suffers from alopecia. That's the reason why her hair is low. and I'm not going to
Who can do
tolerate
that
anybody
though? Like who
doing
can do
anything.
that all the time? Like
That's-
even
Yeah.
as
So
far as I can remember,
I
it
understand
just doesn't
you can't
happen
do
like
it
that.
all the time. I understand you can't do it all the time,
Right, but
the
he's
fact
taking
is,
blows from him all
the one time that you had an opportunity to do something in a
I
public
feel like
setting
he was
and
like,
you decide to stoop to violence, I think that's low. I think
so
it's
look,
small.
here's my thing.
he was like on site.
It's
They probably had a conversation the day before on site. Like it's just because you always coming for me. Like if somebody's this is not some random stuff. If someone's continuously coming for you and your family over and over and over again, you will already like just think about the idea like, okay, I really don't want to go here. I don't want to attend. I know I'm supposed to, so let me just show up. And you
But
really
this-
had like your
But this
sheet
family is
on.
continually putting their business out there to be talked about.
No, that
let's
was
not act
another
like
situation.
this wasn't a little bit of I've been suffering and I was still butthurt from what happened when she decided to put
But
that
Will Smith knew
entanglement
about
out
that.
there.
but I
Will
don't
Smith knew about that situation.
I
But
don't
we
care
didn't
about-
know about that.
I don't care about the previous incidents happening because I'm just dealing with. I don't want to get on to the historical context of it.
Yeah.
If you said this about my wife, and I approached you man to man, slapped you in your face, and told you, as a sign, I'm gonna keep your name out of my mouth. That's enough. That's enough for the situation. I do agree with you, David. So here's I posted this on Facebook to somebody's comments because that joint was lighting up. Facebook was lighting up. People do civil disobedience all the time for a worthy cause. Black Lives Matter or whatever the case. And in that you risk being arrested, shamed, thrown in jail, or whatever the consequences are. Is his wife's honor and respect, the fact that, he laughed at first, we all saw, but then he looked at his wife and was like, oh, so she's mad about this. Is his wife's honor worthy of all of the smoke that he's going to get from the industry, from people? Is that not worth it? To me, for him, it was worth it because Will Smith, Heath Wiggins might not have done that, but Will Smith has the Hollywood capital to cash in some chips and be like, I smacked the dude on TV, and that's what it is. You say you can arrest me if you want to, and if you'd have got arrested, I'd have been like, walk with the head held up high because you honored your wife, even if she didn't appreciate it. This is what you felt you had to do for your family because somebody disrespected your wife, and as a man, this is how I carried. I know, David, you said he's a little candy wrapper, little toy boy, but as a man, I think if you're going to not allow another man to disrespect your wife, that's the way you choose to do it, then you take all the smoke that comes along with it. And if you take it.
Yeah. And you know what, I look at it, Heath, like this too, right? What were the other ways that if you're really thoughtful and if you're really, let's say, using your capital and your leverage, he could have simply stood up with his wife and walked out. There were so many, and I don't disagree with you saying there were just, in my mind, different ways to show honor to his wife and to maintain her integrity. Because when you're on that stage, you're making $20 million for doing Wild Wild West. You're a multimillionaire. You have to think about the platform that you're on. And I really think he missed the moment. There was a really great moment there for him to honor Jada and to make a statement. And he used, West Philly to tear up the moment.
I think he could have been bigger than the situation, and it would have shown better. That was a nice. That was an example I never even thought about. Taking your wife and escorting her out and being like, "Look, we're not going to stay in here as long as he up there clowning."
He wasn't about to leave until he won that award. He wasn't going to leave.
But once during Chris's segment, like, nah, you know what? Nah, we're not going to do this. I'm not going to leave my wife here to be ammunition for you. Now, once the Oscars was over, and I know I was going to run into you in some type of little private situation at one of them parties. Now, we had posted up and we had talked then, and then I'm going to let you know exactly how I feel. Yeah, somebody was going to record it.
I think he just said enough.
Yeah.
He had enough.
Yeah.
He's enough in the media. He needed his moment.
No, well, I'm saying from Chris Rock, he's had enough from him. Like, it's like, I got to take, I'm going to have to teach you how to treat me because I've told you over and over and over and over again. Like, this is not a first time. If this was just someone making a joke, if this was Kevin Hart making a joke, he could probably like, yeah, I'm going to get you, like that type of thing. This is Chris
Yeah,
Rock.
because
He wasn't making a joke about
because he looks terrible
Will Smith.
punting a little 5'2" comedian on
But he
stage.
wasn't making a joke about Will Smith. He was making a joke about his wife.
Right.
Yeah.
You can come at me and okay, all right, I got you. I'm gonna see you again, But you talk about my wife and something that she's struggling with, and you see that she's visibly upset about that. I mean, you take the smoke.
Chris Rock didn't respond to her roll eyes. He was like, okay, like he responded to her offense. So
too late.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
And you know what I toss into? I still go back to selective retaliation, because had it been a more hardcore brother, about 6'4" like me, I promise you that wouldn't have happened.
I feel like if it was Terry Crews, he would have still slapped him. He would have slapped him.
You think so?
I think he would.
Nah,
I don't.
If they had that history,
August.
I believe.
August Alsina has a video out right now saying, he didn't do all that to me.
That's not the point. That's not the point. And that was a willing party.
Exactly.
Situation.
That's a whole other situation.
Okay. So
they all knew.
We just gonna act like the entanglement issues didn't lead up to being the straw, that this act was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Here's what I think actually led up to it, and he talked about it when he spoke. He playing King Richard, he had to endure and had to watch Richard endure him protecting his daughters and his wife, but him being bullied by the gang members and him being beat up and beat down. And I think that that set with him. He was like, I am not going to be bullied by anybody. And I think that really, he said it changed his life. And I can imagine playing that.
Dude, that role been over, man. Stop.
No.
Stop
You know what?
It's convenient.
Let me say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to take my seat. As a working actor, you do take on roles because you have to do your homework and study, and that energy never leaves you. So if I'm studying to be a certain person, I'm going to take on that energy and that space. And sometimes it never leaves. And that's just what it is. I got a big role in a period piece. That's every time I relive the moment, it's like I was there. And so you have to do that over and over again. So it doesn't leave you. It doesn't.
But
so
Natasha, you're a better actress than Will Smith is.
No.
So what I'm going to say is,
on Thomas.
I know. I believe.
Now you're taking it too far.
With all of what I said, I believe that you're a better actor, and I believe that you're a better actor. So, I mean, I can understand by you getting lost in a piece. Well, if that's the case, then he could have channeled Ali, because he played that a while ago, and he could have beat up August Alsina. And this could have been Will's track record.
I think
open hand, Ali.
Not with open hand. Ali would have blown his fist out.
Yeah, I'm glad it was an open hand instead of a closed fist, because if it was a closed fist, I think it would have hit a little different.
Yeah,
it would have hit a little different. Like socially, it'd have been like, okay, you attacked him, although he did attack him, but
he did.
I think the proper legal term is he assaulted him. Which is what they're using now.
Battery
on national television. But
would have anything changed the way we feel about it if Chris Rock retaliated immediately in a physical way?
For me, it would have been.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For me, it would have been. I think if Chris would have retaliated, then it would have been a big fight, and now you got two black men on stage fighting
on national television and don't know how to act.
Because I didn't get updated on that. What did Chris Rock do?
He said,
he absorbed it and then came back with a joke, but I thought he did what was appropriate.
He was appropriate. All he said was
he restrained himself.
He was.
He said, "Will just slapped the S out of me." So
no. Like, what is he saying now? Like, after all this was over, what is he saying today?
I haven't heard anything. His camp has been totally
that ain't
quiet.
The talk on the street.
I really want to see what Jada's response is to it.
Exactly.
I wish they would have showed a camera of Jada's reaction to Will slapping him.
I agree. They showed everybody else's reaction except hers. But now everybody hates Chris.
So fast.
Yeah.
Everybody really hates Chris.
Right.
Look, he spoke it.
You saw how the camera was going around and the camera caught her being upset. Then it panned off of her real quick.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a good look. She just got a joke landed about her, and she's visibly upset. and the husband is visibly laughing. And so, boom, they turn, and then next thing you know, you hear him. He even says, "Richard," as he's coming towards him.
Oh, King Richard.
Yeah, takes the takes that four-fingered smack,
Yeah.
and goes on about his business. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he did show some restraint. I mean, there wasn't really much he could do. You know what I'm saying? You go out here, you hit this man back. This could be very ugly.
He didn't want that position taken away from him. So I absolutely love how he responded.
I think of it like this. If you just said something about a man's wife and he steps in and smacks you in the face, you knew you crossed the line. You crossed the line. I mean, if Thomas, me and you are boys, if you said something about Bernie and then I came and slapped you in your face, you'd be like, hold up. Like, okay, wait a minute. There might have been a tussle.
He's with it. I love you to death, but we tussling shoes in every corner. We going for it. Like I mean, but I get it. I get it. You said something, and he actually did attempt to try to apologize to him because he was like, it was just the G.I. Jane joke. And then Will said what he said, and then he said, "Okay, I won't say anything else." And then he moved on.
But it had to take that. That's all I want people to understand is it did not start that night. It's been an ongoing beef. You know how you have a beef with somebody, it's like, as long as I don't see them, we're cool. But the minute you see them and they say something slick out their mouth, like
about your wife,
like that's a problem.
And I'm on the front row. That was good. That was set up.
You're catching these hands.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
We said all that to say.
Right.
We said all that to say thank you all for joining us. Thank you the team for coming on real quick. Everybody's busy.
Yep, right.
We got stuff to do later on tonight. But we definitely will see you all back at the next podcast. When are we shooting next? Next week. This weekend coming. But we'll be seeing y'all later, I guess. I don't know. Thomas, you want to end it?
As usual, if you like that subject, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Find us at Elevation Global Media Group on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And we do read our comments, so comment too.
All right, everybody. Take care.
All right. You as well. You all take care.
Bye, lovely people.